So I've been keeping an eye on Worlds Adrift for some time now. The game, being developed by Bossa Studios, is best described as a persistent online experience with elements of Guns of Icarus with its ship-flying steampunk style, with a crafting survival element, with grappling hooks thrown in for good measure. But of course, that's not really the most exciting part about it. That honour belongs to the use of the Spatial OS engine powering the game, but we're not going to talk about that today because we've got something else to look at, which is the Island Creator, which is our first hands-on look at the game, and you can download it for free over on Steam. But we're going to use this video just to give you an idea of what's involved with it, what you can play about with, and what you can create. So let's jump straight in, and you are greeted with a screen which I'm sure many of you who've messed about with SDKs will be quite familiar with. You've got your options along the top, you've got the instructions down the bottom here telling you how you can move about and rotate the camera, just like orbiting around, moving back and forward. And if you really want to have a bit more familiarity, just holding the right mouse button allows you to go into kind of like a first person view. Holding that shift moves around a lot faster. But of course we've just got an empty space here, so what we need to do is generate an island for us to use. So you can put a random number in. I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and hit generate, and there we have an island, our very own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 island. Not exactly the most exciting thing. It is of course just a bare bones piece of rock, but of course that's not the most exciting thing, so we're just going to hit the randomize button and generate a different island, which actually isn't that much different from the one we had before. But yes, if that's not your fancy, we'll just randomize it. You can, of course, use a different algorithm so you can create different types of islands, and then you can manipulate it further from there. So, but we're just going to keep it as is and generate a new one, hopefully get something a bit more interesting. That one's a bit more round. I'm sure we can do something with that, so we'll stick with this one and move on to the Sculpt tool, which obviously allows you to manipulate the island as you see fit. Now, using this tool, we can raise the ground. If you just hold down the left mouse button, still to manipulate it. It is very, very slow. So what we'll do is we'll up the power, and there, a lot better, a lot quicker. But I like the fact that you can change the power. So if you just want to raise the ground just by a tiny bit, you can do. You don't have to worry about just like doing quick clicks, which could be sort of problematic. Very much kind of like with the way that SimCity allowed you to manipulate the world around you. And of course, using the radius tool means that you can manipulate more at one given time. And create ourselves a bit of a mountain range there. Let's lower the power and see if we can just carve ourselves. We can flatten, but we're going to leave that for now and just create ourselves a bit of a cave. There we go. Excavating down. We're going to have ourselves a sort of hidden cave of wonders. That's what I'm calling it. This is the hidden cave of wonders. Well, to say hidden, it's pretty obvious if you go to it. It's the obvious cave of wonders. There we go. My obvious cave of wonders right there. So yeah, it's very simple, very intuitive to carve out or raise up the ground. And you see here we can flatten. But the one thing from this is that you actually have to set the height, which you can see here because I hadn't actually set it properly. But it kind of goes along sort of like ground level, if you will, and you have to just manipulate it to get it to the height that you want it. Come on, let's see if we can get to the right one. No, that was too much. So we just got ourselves a lump in the ground there. That's it's going to take a bit of fine-tuning, but once you kind of get used to it, you can select the height. There we go. There's the highlight. If we just click there. There we go. Nice, flat, weird, random piece of hill in the middle of our island as we want to. So we'll just knock that down. But of course, that all looks a bit weird. It's kind of like, you can see where I've tried to manipulate it. But there is an undo button there. So if we just do that, we can go back through my terrible sculpting ideas. I want to keep the cave of obvious wonders as is. So that, again, is a very handy thing. So if you do a mistake, you can, of course, rectify it. And then there's the Fix Seams button, which you can use to ensure that everything is connected properly, which is really, really useful. But the Remove Orphans, again, this is a really nice tool. As you can see here, we've got random bits of rock. And if you do that, it gets rid of the ones that are floating about. So, of course, that one there is kind of on its own. And you can up the voxel count so it will get rid of them. So if you want to make sure that your island is tidy, maybe you've carved a bit off and you just want to make sure that, you know, you haven't got those floating bits of rocks around. It's a really useful tool to use. But yes, moving on, you can paint the ground, because at the moment it's just rock, but, you know, we want to give it a bit of greenery. So let's cover this top bit in grass. Now, much like with the sculpting tools, you can set the radius and strength, but as you'll see here, like, the fact that it doesn't completely cover the ground, like that there are bits where the rock still shows through because of the way that the elevation is a really nice touch. It's kind of like a smart filter that allows it to kind of have a bit of a more natural look, which, like I say, it's just pretty nice. It's just the little touches that make it seem like it's kind of like easy to build, even if you are completely inept at level design like me. So let's see. I think that'll do for now. It's got a grass over the top. Looks a lot nicer than it was. So let's have a quick look at the different brush types. Of course, you've got paint, erase, and fill, which if you hit, completely covers the top with grass. But of course, we don't want that. We only want to have it over the top. That's where the sun has mostly been hitting on our island, our beautiful island. Anyway, let's move on to adding various objects. You've got your various options here, and then you've got the different types of props that you can throw in. And we're going to start off by adding some trees, and we've got different coloured ones, but let's stick with green because we've gone with the green type of grass. As you can see here, it kind of aligns itself, so let's turn that off so that the trees will go straight up. But having the ability to align with the ground is very useful, as you'll see later on. Just throw it down some trees, and giving our island a bit more life, so to speak. Let's place over there, and let's throw some over this direction. A little hill with our obvious Cave of Wonders, and just throw a few more around. Now, of course, we don't want the same tree over and over again, so we're just going to throw down some of these second trees. Just dot it around, just give it a bit more variety. And let's move on to number 4 here. Again, I like the fact that you can just place down different types of trees. It would be nice to have sort of like select a type and then just add in random ones, but at least this means that you can give it a bit more of a personal touch and ensure that the right tree for what you want to go for is in the right place. There, I think definitely adds a bit more life and personality to the island now that we've got some trees. And I think, let's move on to number 1. Add a few more of those dotted around. Being the smallest ones. Feeling a bit kind of like Bob Ross at the moment, having a happy little tree. But that's definitely looking a lot better. Oh, yes, need to put some around there. But it now looks like it's I say it's looking a lot better that we've got a floating tree there, which we can manipulate. If we get the edit tool, we can hit that, and this is a good opportunity to show you how you can use the anchoring tools there to kind of like move items around. Very reminiscent of WildStar's manipulation tools in their sort of like their homestead creation suite. And I like going with that sort of aspect because it's, again, very easy to use. You just click on the anchors that you want to pull and then move it into the position that you want to. Just move it up down. Let's put it, there we go. Nicely in the ground. And of course, that's the move tool. You can set the rotate tool. So if you want to have the tree sort of like at a different angle, or you know, just get the red one there. Put it on its side. Tree fell down. Was drunk. Whatever excuse you want to use. And then of course there's the side stall, so you can make it the world's biggest tree, if you so wish. Make it sort of like the world tree if you want. That's the kind of island that you want to make. But let's make it a little bit smaller. So it's just a big tree. It's not a world tree. That's what we're going for. And of course you can toggle the world space around, which kind of makes it bigger and smaller again. But you've got all those different types of options around that you can use. Again, very intuitive. The fact that the options are all there is going to be very handy. So it's simple yet powerful, I think, is really the message to take from this island creator. But of course, you've got the different colours there, so if you don't want to have green trees, you can have blue or red or whatever. But let's move on to having a look at some of the other things you can throw in. And here we've got so like stone buildings that we can throw down. You know, lost civilization that was outside the obvious Cave of Wonders. We've got the house here that we can throw down. We'll just have the right thing to select so we can do that. So yeah, we can throw down a house. Let's put that over there, maybe. Yes, that's good. Like that. And of course you can add in stuff like pillars. And of course currently they are set just to be thrown down, but you can align it with the surface so it feels a bit more natural, so to speak, in this particular case. Or you can turn it off and add in something like a head. There we go. Random head that they worshipped. That was their god here outside the obvious Cave of Wonders. And here we've got another type of building, a hut. It's has seen better days, most definitely. And some steps there, so we can let's have it so there was some steps once going down towards the obvious Cave of Wonders. Kind of a bit of a weird angle right now, so let's try and rotate that the right way. Let's can we do that? There we go, I think. Now we just need to rotate it a bit. Well, let's get a better angle. There we go. And now we can set it so it's at the correct angle. There we go, a little bit tweaking. Let's move that into a better position. And yeah, just put it back. That. And again, like I say, it's just simple yet powerful. I really like the way that it can let an idiot like me create something. I mean, I'm not saying this is a masterpiece, but you know, it's just a lot better. Glitching through the floor there, as you might expect. But yes, so we can fly around and have a look at what is on this island and fly through the trees. But of course, the best way to really see how your work is going out is to kind of throw yourself in there. So there is a play mode. And when you do that, you can fly around the island, click where you want to, and it will pop in an avatar for you to play as. Now in the full game, these will be customizable, so you can select how your character looks. But for now, you're just given a default character to wander around your island. Now, as you can see on her arm, she's got a grapple hook. So this is actually a really easy way to kind of see the game in action, how it's going to play. With the grapple hook on the right mouse button. And swing it around. It's not exactly Attack on Titan-esque, but here's the thing I really want to show you. At the moment, I'm just going around the tree, and the rope is going round with it. Now, this isn't just kind of like something that's graphically done. That is actually the rope in a physical sense around the tree. So if I kind of like reel out, got more rope, but if I reel myself in, I'm going to go around that tree like this. And it's spinning around. So it is an actual... Oh, good God. Oh. Yeah, that was not good. But the point is that it's not there graphically for your benefit. It is an object in the world, just like everything else. That's the power of the spatial OS that is being used to power this game, which is why I'm so intrigued by this and how it's going to work on a sort of like a massively multiplayer level. because it's going to be using cloud computing to generate all the information you need for this. But yes, enough of that. Let's just have a quick look around this hut that we placed down. It has seen better days. Let's try and get up these stairs, which are apparently too big for me. Oh, that's problematic. Let's see if we can get up them. Oh, no, not having any joy. Steps are too big, apparently. Let's try with the grappling hook. And reel... Oh. Jump. Oh. Not having the best of luck. I mean, obviously, I feel that the controls need some refinement. I mean, it might be that I just need to get used to it in terms of the movement and the ragdoll effects. Or maybe, you know, it does need fine-tuning, but something's not quite right. Is there? Oh, so we can jump up. There we go. Finally got up there. I could have, you know, probably got up that hole, but that would have been just, you know, too easy. And, you know, I like to challenge myself. Anyway, yeah, I do hope that the controls are refined a little bit as we head into the obvious cave of wonders here. But the good thing about this island creator is not just that you can make your own islands that do stand the chance of actually being in the full game. That's one of the things they have said about this. But it also gives you a really good idea of just how this movement is going to work, or at least the early stages, because, you know, we're still in the alpha stage from what I understand. There will be a beta later this year, and the release is at some point this year as well. But yeah, just to show off the physics a bit more, we're just going to swing perilously around the island. Oh god! Oh, I'm alive. Everything's fine. Oh, yeah, that could have gone. Could have gone better. Yeah, as we swing around the island, it gives you an idea of the sort of gravity effects and the physics that are going to be used. Well, of course, the frame rate has kind of like suffered here, but again, you know, this is still an early build. Hopefully, optimization will be a lot better as we go, but at least it gives you a sense of the scale as we kind of like go underneath the island. Oh, oof. So glad that you don't get damage from hitting your head. I'm very appreciative that many games go with that angle, because otherwise I probably would have suffered brain damage a long time ago. Let's see if we can see. Again, that has just quickly demonstrated the fact that, you know, the rope is an actual object in the world, and the fact that it will bend if you hit certain bits, or if you go underneath somewhere. You know, it's not, as I say, something graphical. Oh, that was lucky. Let's reel myself in a little bit. Bouncing around there. I mean, what I'm going to try and do is get myself back onto the island to safety. Let's see if we can go. Oh, there we go. Bouncing around. That's okay. Again there. Swing around. Reel in. Oh, just got that at the last second. So the way it's just catching on the rocks as we get up, and there we go. Back to the safety of land, and everything is absolutely fine. But yes, I do hope that that has given you a good overview of what the Island Creator is all about. If we try and locate the island, we turn around there. Here's the thing, though. Like, this really is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, I've only put down some grass across the ground and put some trees and a few other objects. Like, there are certain things that I haven't done, such as the grass. Like, I haven't even put grass down. Well, I have, but I haven't put it down as an object, as we'll just quickly show you. So, you know, you can make it seem a bit more untamed and overgrown as you need to, and in the right hands, like, you could do so much with this. There have already been a whole bunch of levels that have been created. I'm just gonna throw that on top there. And nice little statue thing on top of the hut that's been abandoned. And here we've got bits and pieces of airships that have been broken up, which of course will be a big part of Worlds Adrift, because you'll be able to build your own airships, and if they're destroyed, you know, the rubble will be left around. You know, as long as it doesn't fall into the abyss, it will remain on the islands, and you'll be able to harvest them as you need to. But yes, once you are done building your island, you can upload them to the Steam network and save your island. And give it a name. Let's try Full O Trees. Yeah, there we go. Full of trees. And once that's saved, you can then see about uploading it to the Steam Workshop for other people to marvel at your creations. Saved. Steam Workshop. And there we go. Simply upload things as a new item. Or you can add on subscriptions. Say if someone comes up with a mod or an island itself, you can browse the workshop and have a look at it in your version of Island Creator. But yes, hopefully that has given you an idea of what's available. Again, this is completely free to download on Steam, so do be sure to give it a download and check it out. But that is all for now. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to hit subscribe to stay up to date with our videos as they are published, and we will of course be keeping an eye on Worlds Adrift as it progresses over the course of the year, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.